Dreams of every youngster playing soccer is to represent his or her country in an international competition. Well, an under-14 girls team from Rankin Inlet, Northwest Territories, is going to realise that dream. A West German publisher recently visited Rankin Inlet and was amazed at the popularity of the game in Canada's Arctic. So he extended an invitation for the girls team to travel to West Germany for a tournament during the Easter break. We find out more about the story of soccer in Canada's north in this report, courtesy of our friends at the Inuit Broadcasting Corporation.
It's a long way from the famous stadia of England and Italy. It's even a long way from Varsity and Swangard. But to these players, it doesn't seem to matter. Their love for the game appears to be just as strong. This is Rankin Inlet, Northwest Territories, and here the game of soccer seems to be as popular as anywhere in Canada. Bill Belzy is one of several carded coaches in the region, and he tells us the success story of one of his teams.
About 2.5 years ago, in 1986, in my first year here in teaching in Rankin Inlet, we had a fun tournament where Eskimo Point and their boys and girls teams were invited to play in a fun tournament against kids from Rankin Inlet in soccer. And during that tournament, the girls that I coached lost every game. And I thought that we could probably do a bit better. So I decided, almost as soon as that tournament was over, to invite girls who were 14 years and younger to come to a tryout. And over the next year or so, the girls practiced with me, teaching them very specific skills in soccer, like shooting and passing and heading, and building really slowly. And over, I guess, about the past 2 years or so, we picked the final team, the final 8 girls, and I guess our work paid off, because in 1987 we won the Keewatin championship for the Arctic Winter Games. And we felt very good about that, because we beat some teams that probably would have beaten us very easily before. And from there, after that, we were able to go on to the championship of the Northwest Territories, which was held in Inuvik in January of 1988. And much to, I think, a lot of people's surprise, the Rankin Inlet juvenile girls team won the championship of the Northwest Territories. And they beat some very fine teams from places like Aklavik, Iqaluit, Yellowknife, and many others, and won the right to represent the Northwest Territories at the Arctic Winter Games in Fairbanks, Alaska in March. And in March, the girls played very, very well, beating teams like Alaska, and came away with a bronze medal there at the Arctic Winter Games. And for a team that only 2 years before was beaten in every single game they played in a fun tournament, to go all the way to the championship of the Northwest Territories and go to Alaska in the Arctic Winter Games was a very proud thing for us. And I think it just showed that not so much that the girls in Rankin Inlet are that much better soccer players than anywhere else. I think it just goes to show that if anyone works at something long enough and hard enough, and they practice hard enough, that it can pay off. So I think it's a testament to the girls who worked so hard and came out to practice every day, and never gave up trying and kept working at it. Their hard work certainly paid off.
Most of Canada's national team players come from the soccer hotbeds of BC and Ontario. But the game is catching on quickly in the north, and the day may not be far away when an Inuit player makes his mark on the national scene.
We've just this past weekend, on September 9th, 10th, and 11th, had the pleasure of having a man named Dick Howard from the Canadian Soccer Association visit us here in Rankin Inlet. Dick is the technical director of the Canadian Soccer Association, and he coaches many of our Olympic and national team players. This summer, when I was down south on my holidays, I wrote a letter to the Canadian Soccer Association just telling them that the kids here in Rankin Inlet really love to play soccer, and not only Rankin Inlet, kids all over the north really enjoyed playing soccer very much. I was very surprised a little later to get a letter back from them saying that they were very interested in this and didn't realize that kids in the Northwest Territories and in the Arctic played soccer. And after a few more letters and phone calls, they let us know that they'd be able to come to Rankin Inlet to give a soccer clinic to teach children all the way from kindergarten right through to grade 12 in the high school, as well as the other coaches and teachers, all about soccer. And I'm very proud to say that we've just spent a wonderful weekend here in Rankin Inlet with Dick Howard, and he's probably worked with maybe between 350 and 400 students this weekend, with kindergarten children right up to grade 12, as well as the more competitive teams, such as my juvenile girls team and the juvenile boys team as well. And as a result, now we have 6 people who are qualified level 1 coaches in soccer, and we're hoping that maybe we can spread the word about soccer throughout the whole Kuwaitan and the Northwest Territories and get everybody interested in playing this great game that's the world's most popular sport.
Joining me now is Dick Howard, Technical Director of the Canadian Soccer Association. Dick, thank you for joining us. It looked like these kids were really having a great time. You spent some time up there with them. What was it really like?
Unbelievable, Graham. If you don't know it, Rankin Inlet is a small community of 1,500 people, 3,000 kilometres from my head office in Hamilton. So I had quite a journey to get up there. When I got there, unbelievable. You know, the atmosphere up there, the interest and the enthusiasm about the game of soccer was delight to behold. I held clinics in the school, did it with all the students. I even had a coaching course with local coaches. 5 of them were on a course that we do through the Canadian Soccer Association. Then I had the Soccer 2000 clinic, and I involved both the young boys and the young girls in Rankin Inlet. But Bill Belsey, who's Mr. Soccer in Rankin Inlet, has done a marvellous job in generating enthusiasm, and I was happy to be a part of it. It was a great trip.
Tell us, what's the Soccer 2000 program all about?
Well, the Soccer 2000 program, Graham, started really with our analysis of the '86 World Cup. We went down there, of course, we had our first experience in a World Championship, and what we felt was there were certain things that we've got to do on a technical basis if we want to get back to future World Championships. So what we said, what can we do? We put together a booklet. We did clinics across Canada. Bob Bearpark, the high performance director of the association, and I went across Canada, all 10 of the provinces. We went up to the territories. We did it sort of over a period of about 2 or 3 months. We exposed the clinics to 1,500 people. We traveled 18,000 kilometers. And in these clinics, we just went through all the technical things that you talk about on the program, scoring goals. How do we do it? We've got to do it with young players. So we said the mini soccer player of today, the little boy and girl that's playing mini soccer, he hopefully, or she, is going to be our World Cup player in the year 2002. And the clinics are an integral part of all that.
I hear there was an interesting story about a West German photographer who was also very impressed with these kids.
Very impressed. He was first of all impressed with the photography of Bill Belsey, who is a very reputable and a very good photographer in the Arctic. And he visited Bill Belsey's home, and he saw this photograph on the wall of this girls' team that had represented Rankin Inlet in the Arctic Winter Games. They, in fact, got a bronze medal up there. And he said, you know, do you play soccer here? And Bill Belsey said, yes, we play indoors. They play it with the Arctic Indoor Winter Games. He said, well, why don't you come to West Germany? And one thing led to another, and the offshoot of all that is that at the end of March this year, 10 of these young girls, with Bill Belsey and a parent of 2 of the girls, are going to West Germany to play in 3 tournaments and have an experience that I'm sure they will enjoy for the rest of their lives. But the great thing, Graham, they will be superb ambassadors. They are marvellous people themselves. They will be tremendous ambassadors for Canada. It's going to be a fabulous experience because you know soccer. You can travel the whole world, and soccer is the game. And this is the great thing, that from a community of 1,500 people, these young girls are going to go to West Germany, see Bundesliga games, meet West German school children, tell them about life in the Arctic. Fabulous experience.
Fabulous indeed. I think I'll go. Could you take me with you kids? Definitely.